So by looking at this 3D shape, right, we know that it's of 2 triangles and 3 rectangles, right? What you just did, you just talked about the net of that 3D shape. So if I take that shape and I actually break it apart, right, I'm going to create 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. We call that the net of that 3D shape. Okay? So the net is a 2D pattern that can be folded to form a 3D shape. Okay? So as you can see here, I have the 3D pattern. If I fold that, the 2D pattern, if I fold it, I'll make that 3D shape. Okay? Every 3D shape is made of a net of 2D objects. Okay? If you look at this hexagon, I believe 2, 4, 6. Yeah, hexagonal prism. Right? It's made of 2 hexagons and it's made of 6 rectangles. Right? When they're put together, they make a hexagonal prism. Okay? So we call the 2D the net of it. All right. So a cardboard pizza box, right? When they come to you, when they come to the store, right? I don't know if any of you worked in a pizza place before or in a place where, you have to make your own box, don't you? They come as a flat cardboard and then you put it together, right, to form that 3D box for the pizza. Now, if I want to find the surface area of that triangular prism, how can I find the surface area of this? Make it 2D and then do what? Find what? What calculation am I finding? The area of each of the shapes and then add them together. That's exactly what you see when you look at your formula sheet and you look at the surface area of your 3D shapes, right? These formulas, so if you look at this and then you look at the surface area, these formulas came from the addition of the areas of each of the 2D shape. Okay? So, I'm bad at drawing, by the way, so you're going to find today. We have this shape, and they're asking you to draw nets for the following prisms. So if I'm going to draw a net, what will I have?
To make that figure 2D.
Yeah.
I will take the roof, the first line, the second line. I mean the line in the center.
5 rectangles of 10 centimeter wide, 30 centimeter wide, 10 centimeter high.
Okay.
Two of the triangles for the top ones. Like I'm gonna.
But this shape is all one shape. 2 pentagons and then 5 rectangles, right? So you see that you have this pentagon. This is called a pentagon because it's 5 sides. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah? So you have 2 pentagons and then you'll have 5 rectangles, okay? So when I'm drawing this, I'm drawing 5 equal rectangles. And then you're going to draw 2 pentagons. You can draw the pentagons anywhere. Doesn't have to be specifically on this one. But I'm going to draw 2 pentagons right here. As you can tell, I'm very bad at drawing, right? And then you'll have the 30 and the 10, right? So each of these is 30, each of these is 10, and then this is 10, 10, 10. How high is the pentagon? It's 10.
Okay.
right? Because this is 10. Right here is 10, and this is 10, and this is 10. So all three sides, all sides of the pentagon is 10. It's a regular pentagon.
So how will we find the height of the center?
You don't need to right now. Okay, so this is the net of this. Are we okay with this? How about this one? What do you draw? Okay, so it's similar to this. All right. So the rectangles are going to be 96.5 by 15.2. And then I'm going to draw the two triangles. And they're going to be in this case, they gave me the height of the triangle to be 13.2, so I can include that. Are we good with that? Okay. I'm gonna skip to this one. You can do the sheet by yourself, okay, while you guys are working together. Now we're gonna look at how can I find the surface area of that shape using the 2D net. Do you have to do this technically when you're doing a shape that you know the formula for? No, you don't. Okay, but at the same time, you have to think about something. What if I want you to find the surface area of this triangular prism without the top part, without this triangle?
Then you have to minus 1, like we don't have to add 2.
So in this case, you're going to have to be careful because that formula that is given to you in the worksheet, in the formula sheet, it has all sides, right? So when you're finding the surface area of this shape, you're going to have to be careful that it's only the 3 rectangles and the 1 triangle. So this is the case where you're going to probably use the 2D net. Okay? Just because you have to be careful. Sometimes I will ask you questions like this. Okay? So to find the surface area, as they did here, so what they did is they took the rectangular prism and they opened it, right? So when you look at this rectangular prism, you're going to have 3 different kinds of rectangles, okay? So you're going to have rectangles, these 2 rectangles, this one and the one at the back, they're the same. Then you're going to have this one and the one on the other side the same, and then the top and the bottom the same, right? True? Because in this case, my rectangular prism has 3 different side lengths, right? So your length and your width and your height, they're not the same. If they're the same, then you might have more than 1 rectangle, more than 2 rectangles that are the same size. So if I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the 2D net, right? So what I will have, I'll have the A2, which represent the green, right? They're the one with 3.8 and 1.9. A1 represents the top and bottom. And A3 represents the yellow. Correct? You guys see that? All right. So if I'm going to find the surface area, it's going to be, I have 2A1, and I have 2A2, and I have 2A3. Right? So the area of A1, if I look at A1, the area is going to be 4.6 times 1.9 because it's length times width. So it's going to be 2 times 4.6 times 1.9. Are you guys okay with that? Plus 2. The area of 2, that is 1.9 and 3.8. Plus 2. The area of 3 is 4.6 and 3.8. Can you guys find the value of this? So the first one is 17.48. What would be the unit for this?
Square.
Meter square plus 14.44, also meter squared, plus 34.96 meter squared. Okay? And then I add them all together, so that's going to give me 66.88 meter squared. Are we okay with that? Bless you. Can I go to the next page?
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have here?
So you need to change.
It looks like it's a step, right? So how would you find the surface area of this?
The surface area.
Yeah, that's what the question is asking you for.
Doing the same. You have to first. You have to divide the figure in like known figures,
Yeah.
and then calculate their areas separately.
Okay. So what we did here first is I divided it this way. Okay. Where we have, I divided it vertically. Right. So we have A1, which is this. How many A1s do I have? 2. Right? So I have 2A1. How many A2s do I have? 2. How many A3 do I have? 1, because the top is not the same, right? Okay. How many A4s do I have? 1. How many A5s do I have?
1.
How many A6 do I have? How many A7 do I have? And how many A8 do I have? So let's look at how many faces do I have altogether. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Did I count them right? Right? If I count this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So I counted all of them. Now, let's look at A1. What are the dimensions of A1? So my length is 55 and my width is, do I know it? Can I find it? What is it? That's good. 78 minus 45 gives me what? 33. Okay? So I know that A1, the area would be 2 times 55 times 33. Okay, how did we find 33? So the whole thing, 78, right? So you take the 78 and you take away the 45 from it because I don't have this part, right? So you take away the 45, so that gives you 33. Okay? How about A2? What is A2 made of? What's the width? 45. And what's my height? 30. So I have 2 times 45 times 30. How about A3? A3 is the bottom one. So I have 78 times 27. A4. A4 is this. So that's 55 times 27. I'm at A5 now. So A5 is this, which is 33. A6. So A6 is missing some information. So what do I know? I know that this is 30 because it's the same as this. And I know that the whole thing is 55, right? So 55 take away 30, that is 25. So it's going to be 25 times 27. A7. So A7, we know that this is 27, and we know that this is 45. One more. A8. 27 times 30. Okay? Make sure that you do each part by itself so you don't make a mess. So my end, what's your end answer? The whole thing.
7 million.
I have 13,512. Okay? See if that's the answer that you got. And let me know. That's on the board.